Hi friends, welcome to Will and Raw Arts. I'm Leslie. Today I am working on something special for you guys. I am doing a collaboration with Whitney Labrie. If you're not familiar with Whitney Labrie, but you enjoy what I do, you're gonna love her. Not only does she love making miniatures and many things, she's also incredibly funny and she's a super nice person. In her videos, not only does she teach you how to make things, she does it in a way that she's so enjoyable to watch. You'll just have the greatest time when you watch her. Some of my favorite projects of hers is the Poltergeist series, where she recreates the kids' room, and it's so good. She brings in so much detail to that project. It is amazing. Another one of my favorites is her Indiana Jones series, as well as she remade Zoltar from the movie Big. She has a great video of how to wire a dollhouse and so many more. For this collaboration, Whitney and I are making each other something for each other's projects. So it's kind of a two-part collaboration. For the first part of our collaboration, Whitney is making a scene from the classic holiday movie, A Christmas Story. And Whitney asked if I would be interested in sculpting her Ralphie. And of course I said yes, I would love to sculpt Ralphie. He is such a cute character in one of the greatest Christmas movies. For the second part of our collaboration, Whitney is going to make me something for that 1980s house series that I'm working on. And I will be revealing what she makes me in a future video. So without further ado, let's sculpt Ralphie. Today, my friends, we are going to start working on Ralphie. He's going to be a pretty small sculpture, so I'm going to try to get the best details I can for his face. He's going to be going in Whitney's scene, which I believe is a 1/12 scale. So we are going to go with this size. So let's get started. I am making Ralphie in his bunny costume, the famous bunny scene in The Christmas Story. He's going to be permanently in his costume as far as the sculpt goes. So I do want to make sure we have his ear shape. And right now I'm just going to twist this wire to bulk it up a little bit. So we have some up ear shapes and I want to permanently attach them to his head. And that way they'll be in there and they won't fall apart when I end up making the costume part of him. We're just going to go with the ball. I kind of change it up every time, but right now when I make heads, I like to start with a kind of a skull shape, and then I like to work from there. So we have lots of different versions of Ralphie, and I'm going for this look to the best of my ability. I've got a little head, and today I'm going to go with some pre-made glass eyes because they're so teeny, and I have some of these. He's got these beautiful blue eyes, and we're going to go with these eyes. Here's his little eyeballs, or his center of his eye. I need a pokey tool. So what I like to do is use this little pokey tool, this little cutter, and so I just get approximate the same size eyeball shape. Take my little piece of white, I roll it in a ball. I poke it with just a push pin, sewing needle, whatever you have on hand, just to try to get a little hole in the middle. And then I take my pre-made eye, slap a little bacon bond on there. So I'm just looking for the white part around the eye. So once I have approximation of his eyeball, I just take my little heat gun, give it a little zap to keep it from smushing more. These are like, I think they're called like teddy bear eyes. You can buy them on Amazon. If you're not very good at making eyes, they're really great. They're glass eyes. You need glass. You don't want to put plastic in the oven. They work out really well. And then if you don't like them, you can paint over them. I'm really happy with how they've come out in the past, you know, especially when they're really little. You know, tricky to paint really little eyes. So this is like a little cheat, I guess. You can also use stainless steel ball bearings, and that makes a great shape for your eye base to paint over. Or if you're using like monster eyes, or they just make cool eyes. So now we have a little head shape, and to build from that, I'm going to mark approximation of where I want the eyes to be. Cold season now, my heater's gonna run in the background once in a while since I am in the basement. We'll get a little approximation of eye placement and nose placement, where I am going to cover this area with additional clay to form his face because it's flat right now. People call these dotting tools if you're a scrapbooker or do other type of things, and I basically give myself a indentation. And then these guys are great because they are made for like stuffed animals. They have this little pin in the back, but you could take that right off. You could slap a little bacon bond in there, clay adhesive. It's like clay glue basically. Then we're gonna take our little eyeball, set it into the head, So I have his eyes where I want them. I want to add these little bunny ears in before I harden it. Again, I'm doing this now, so when I make his little costume, they have a good grip. Slap some Bacon Bond in there, and then we're just going to add his little bunny ears. Now I'm going to give him a little bake. Piece is all hard. I have a nice surface to work from now. Next, I typically like to make a nose. Just making my little nose in my hands, almost doing it like a little triangle shape. And then since he's hard, I need to add a little Bacon Bond to him just to make everything stick. Now we're just gonna get the basic shape of his little nose. Approximation of what I want it to look like. Again, the features are so little that I might go a little more exaggerated, but I want to get his basic look. So I like to just work a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm just going to probably just be quiet and work on his face. I'm gonna see if I can make him some glasses out of clay, and then so I can get a little bit more of the look I want. I do need to work on his chin space here. He doesn't have enough chin, but I'm gonna put him aside, and I'm going to see about making some glasses. So I made 3 different style glasses and decided to go with the glasses using a wire frame, twisting it over the dowels to get the right shape of the circle of the lens area. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the liquid polymer clay to get the shape of the frame. Liquid polymer clay, once hardened, will also keep the frame in a stiff position. I figured out the glasses, so let's get back to working on his face. Boop, 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 doop, doop, doop. Making some disheveled hair. It's gonna go under his bunny costume. His ears aren't gonna be shown, but I'm gonna make them anyways. Plug in a half circle on one side and a half circle on other. Remember, ears aren't twins. Maybe they're siblings, maybe they're cousins. They don't need to look exactly alike. Nobody's ears look exactly alike. I will be adding some pastels or some paint to him. So his hair won't be white. We'll make it blonde. Continue adding hair around his head. I'm gonna add a little bit of a color to Ralphie's hair because I like to see where I'm going with things. So I pre-paint sometimes. Just a little touch paint and eyebrows. So here is Ralphie's glasses I made out of the wire. I painted them a mixtures of browns, reds, and a little gold. His glasses are like a tortoiseshell style glasses. Sometimes some people depict them as red glasses, but I believe they're like a tortoiseshell. I'll trim off the excess once I put them on him. And these were the other to compare. Really similar. These were made with jump rings and polymer clay. I have his approximate size, and I'm going to start by working on his armature. His armature is going to be made out of wire, and we're going to put Ralphie in this armature and work on his bunny suit. So right now we're just going to bulk him up. Kind of looks Looks like a chicken, a turkey. We just got a big blob of clay happening now, but I'm just shaping it around, getting the approximate shape, 2 different color clays because I'm just using up some clay I had in pink. I'm gonna paint it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what clay I start with. I'm gonna set this blob aside and we're gonna work on Ralphie's bunny ears and hood to make the start of his little bunny costume, bunny pajamas or whatever it is. I'm gonna take some of this. This is a cause clay. This is flexible clay after it hardens. And we're gonna work on shaping it around. So we have his little hood on and now we're just kind of gonna piece together ears. So the ears are wrapped in tin foil just to give them a little bit of surface area to stick to. I'm gonna take some of this cause clay, cut it into a shape, and then form it around the ears. So I'm just taking a piece of cloth to give some texture of his costume. All right, before I stick his glasses on, I want to add a little bit of coloring to his face, just in case I can't get into there once I put his glasses on. The color will stay on while you bake it. I've never had a problem, knock on wood. These are just teeny, teeny, teeny application brushes. This is pastels. Definitely something you could see better in person than on camera, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna add his glasses before I bake it. I think he's cute. Now, I pre-baked Ralphie for about 15 minutes, so now I can attach him. We're just gonna bring the forms together. We got this little blobby body. I'm just going to work my way down, sculpting him. So we're just slowly working Ralphie's shape down, just kind of getting the bulk of his shape, and then I'll smooth out and then add fabric texture and fabric folds. So I'm pretty happy the way this top part looking. So I want to work on his feet next, and I would love for him to be self-standing. Let's see if I can come up with something, because I do not want to have a stand that interferes with the scene that Whitney makes. All right, I gave him a pre-bake. I'm not done with some of the details. He can stand on his own. This is Loctite Fun Tack. I'll try to remember to send some with him. Stick it to his feet, stick him down even better. So if I remember, I'll send some of that with him to Whitney. She might have museum wax or something like that. That might work the same way. Add some final details for him. He still needs his little bunny ears on his feet. He needs his bunny tail. So we're gonna work on finishing up him.
Immediately, my feet began to sweat as those 2 fluffy little bunnies with the blue button eyes stared sappily up at me.
I'll paint his feet before I add in his little nose and eyeballs. I am going to go ahead and give him a coat of pink paint. I like to use makeup sponges so you don't see brush strokes. So Ralphie has 2 coats already of pink on his front half. We're gonna go with this color. This is a little bit of pink, yellow, and red mixed together. I just searched my Google Eye collection. I have teeny Google Eyes, but not that teeny. So we're gonna make our own little eyeballs.
cute.
A little bit more color in his face. This is just pastels. Lastly, all I want to do is I have some diamond glaze, and I want to add a little diamond glaze to his glasses and his little eyes. A little bit of shine. And he's done. I'm going to do a little photo shoot with Ralphie, pack him up, and send him to Whitney. If you haven't yet already, go head over to Whitney's channel where you'll see the scene where she places Ralphie. I'm so excited, I can't even hold it together. I can't wait for Whitney to get to finally see Ralphie. This has just been the most fun collaboration. So go check her video out. Thanks for watching, everybody. And stay tuned for the next part of our collaboration where I will reveal what mini treasures Whitney makes me for that 1980s house. Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Oh my God. Oh, isn't that sweet? Ralph, go upstairs and try it on.
I don't want to.
Now, go on.